Step inside the locker room of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, and you're going to feel it immediately. A high-stakes, structural earthquake is happening right beneath the surface. You know, it's the agonizing, often unspoken reality of professional football. That exact, devastating moment when the veteran old guard realizes the franchise's future is being meticulously, carefully constructed for someone else entirely. Under head coach Mike McCarthy, this isn't just some subtle, slow-moving transition. No, it is a rapid, systematic changing of the guard. And today, in this explainer, we're diving deep into exactly how a completely revamped development system is sparking some incredibly raw emotion in the quarterback room. Plus, we'll look at how it's triggering ruthless, high-stakes positional battles down in the trenches.
Look, you almost never hear a professional athlete speak with this kind of unvarnished, vulnerable honesty. It just doesn't happen. But veteran quarterback Mason Rudolph recently dropped this quote, admitting, "I really am jealous of the structure they have had in this program and this QB grooming system." I mean, wow. That is the sound of a seasoned player, a guy who has literally given years of his life to a franchise, having to stand there and watch a new regime roll out the red carpet for the next generation. It perfectly establishes the central tension we are seeing right now in Pittsburgh. It's a veteran watching the new system cater entirely to the future. It's a striking peek behind the curtain of an NFL locker room, exposing the absolute psychological toll that comes with being a bridge player while the front office heavily invests in tomorrow. Let's unpack exactly why this admission carries so much weight right now.
Section 1. The Veteran's Honest Admission and Rodgers' Last Dance. To really understand Rudolph's candid confession, we've got to look at the massive franchise-altering shadow looming over the organization. And that is Aaron Rodgers' 2026 Last Dance. Rodgers has officially revealed that this season will be his final ride in the NFL. That revelation fundamentally alters the gravity in the building. It means the window is closing, right? The ticking clock has officially started, and the front office is no longer casually looking for a successor. They are actively, aggressively grooming one. Just look at the sheer grind of Mason Rudolph's 7-year NFL journey to see exactly why this hurts so much. He has spent agonizingly long stretches on the bench, just waiting for a true, sustained shot. I mean, his only proper season as a starter in Pittsburgh came way back in 2019, which was just a chaotic year where he was thrust right into the fire. He eventually left, proved he could still perform at a high level by starting 5 games and throwing for over 1,000 yards for the Tennessee Titans in 2024. He showed the league he absolutely had starting caliber traits. And now he's back in Pittsburgh for 2026. But despite that hard-earned veteran pedigree and all those miles on his arm, the reality of his current situation under Mike McCarthy is incredibly rigid. According to insider Andrew Filipponi, Mike McCarthy's recent game day decisions make the hierarchy crystal clear. There is no ambiguity here. Aaron Rodgers is entrenched as the untouchable QB1. Mason Rudolph, he is locked securely into the QB2 role as the immediate seasoned backup. He knows, and the team knows, he likely won't see the field unless disaster strikes. He is the safety net. But the actual war, the battle with the absolute highest stakes for the future of the franchise, is happening right below him at QB3, between the young prospects. That QB3 spot isn't just about trying to scrape by and make the roster, it is a literal audition to be the heir apparent. Whoever wins that specific battle gets the keys to the kingdom when Rodgers eventually hangs up his cleats.
Section 2. Grooming the next QB with a new system.
The Steelers are simply no longer leaving quarterback development to chance. There is a stark, almost night and day contrast in coaching philosophies that generated Rudolph's envy in the first place. Think back to the Mike Tomlin era, when Rudolph was just trying to cut his teeth in the league. The organization was universally renowned for its defensive identity. The system famously lacked the specialized, intensive, highly analytical quarterback coaching needed to develop a young raw passer from the ground up. Fast forward to today, and Mike McCarthy, a coach with a deep, proven offensive guru pedigree, has installed a highly structured QB grooming system. This isn't just taking a few extra practice reps. This is dedicated classroom hours, it's biomechanical breakdowns of throwing motions, it's tailored virtual reality reps, it's a completely modernized approach to building a quarterback from scratch. Rudolph is standing there, watching these young guys get the exact kind of high-level foundational support that he was completely deprived of during his own critical developmental years. It's got to be a bitter pill to swallow, knowing what his career might have looked like if he had this exact system a half-decade ago.
And you see the fruits of this new system in real time, with 2 young quarterbacks reaping the massive benefits. On one hand, you have Will Howard, a highly touted prospect returning to the field after a 2025 injury kept him completely sidelined. He is eager to prove his worth and fully absorb all of McCarthy's teachings. And then you have the rookie standout Drew Allar. In the preseason opener, a dominant 28-9 victory over the Green Bay Packers, Allar made an immediate, massive splash. He orchestrated the absolute longest play of the game, connecting with fellow rookie Caden Wichton on a spectacular 74-yard catch and run.
That play wasn't just a fun highlight reel moment, it was pure validation for the front office. It is exactly the kind of explosive flash the new coaching staff is looking to cultivate. When a young quarterback executes a deep shot perfectly in a live-fire NFL environment, it sends a surge of electricity through the entire coaching staff. It proves the grooming system is actually working.
But listen, let's not write off the veteran just yet. Despite knowing the system is built entirely for the rookies, Rudolph is still a consummate professional. He's fighting for his respect in a league that often discards aging players without a second thought. In that exact same game against Green Bay, he went out and quietly completed 10 passes for 93 yards. Coach McCarthy has highly praised Rudolph's command of the offense and his strong, steady locker room presence. He is acting as a mentor, a steady hand, and a highly reliable insurance policy. He has accepted his role, he's played good football, and he's even publicly stated he's rooting for the young guys. That displays immense class and leadership, especially despite the completely natural internal frustration of his current situation.
Now, we can talk all day about franchise quarterbacks, beautiful 74-yard deep balls, and specialized grooming systems. We can debate the depth chart until we are completely blue in the face. But none of that matters. Absolutely none of it matters if the quarterback is flat on his back. A groomed prospect is utterly useless if he is running for his life on every single down. So as we look at the glamorous, headline-grabbing battle in the QB room, a much darker, grittier reality is unfolding down in the trenches, and it mirrors the exact same dynamic we just analyzed.
Section 3. A shift in the trenches and offensive line woes. Down on the offensive line, the exact same story of veterans faltering is playing out in real time. That preseason opener against the Packers wasn't just a showcase for the quarterbacks. It was a brutal, physical stress test for the offensive line. And honestly, the initial returns for some of the established veterans were incredibly concerning. Steelers insider Nick Farbog broke down the tape from the Green Bay game, and his takeaways ring the alarm bells loudly. Dylan Cook, who previously played exceptionally well filling in for an injured Broderick Jones, struggled heavily against the Packers' pass rush. Spencer Anderson, a guy with several spot starts under his belt, completely failed to impress. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the right side of the offensive line has become a major, glaring concern for Mike McCarthy's staff. And you know the right side is absolutely critical. Whether it is anchoring the run game or holding off blindside edge rushers on rollouts, any weakness there can entirely derail an offensive scheme. In the NFL, past performance does not guarantee future security, and one terrible preseason showing can literally cost a veteran their livelihood. Section 4. The rookie's opportunity and stepping up to the plate.
Just like in the quarterback room, there is veteran blood in the water, and a rookie is circling. This underwhelming play by the established lineman has cracked the door wide open for a potential new savior on the right side. Enter rookie offensive lineman Jennings Dunker. When you look at his physical profile, it is so easy to see why the coaching staff is deeply intrigued. Standing at 6'5" and weighing well over 300 pounds, Dunker possesses massive, elite physical attributes. But more importantly than just his size, he comes from the University of Iowa. Anyone who follows college football knows that playing in the grueling, trench warfare environment of the Big Ten, and especially at Iowa, means he is already intimately accustomed to the kind of tenacious, punishing run blocking required at the pro level. He has been forged in an environment that prides itself on sheer physical dominance. He is built from the ground up for this specific brand of heavy-handed football. Now here is the cinematic twist to Dunker's story. By all accounts, his training camp was really rough. The reports coming out of Latrobe suggested he was struggling hard to adapt to the speed and the sheer complexity of the NFL game. But according to Fairbaugh, when the stadium lights actually came on against the Packers, everything changed. Quote, "I thought Jennings Dunker, who has not had a good camp, played some really good ball." In the NFL, you see it all the time. There are players who are practice warriors, looking like all-pros in shorts, but they completely disappear on Sunday. And then there are players who are pure gamers. Dunker proved that in a live-fire environment, when someone is actually trying to put his quarterback in the dirt, he can step up and deliver. He immediately caught the eyes of analysts and coaches alike. So what exactly is the path forward for this massive rookie? The blueprint is remarkably clear, though incredibly difficult to execute. Step 1, he absolutely has to refine his mechanics, specifically fixing the choppy footwork that Farabaugh noted. For a 300-pound man, footwork is literally everything. It dictates your leverage, your balance, and your ability to anchor against a massive bull rush. If he can smooth out his feet, step 2 is earning those high-level, first-team practice reps away from the struggling veterans.
He has to prove he can do it consistently against the starting defense. If he accomplishes those two things, step 3 is practically inevitable, completely taking over a starting job on the right side of the offensive line. It is a direct, tangible path to starting in the NFL as a rookie, which is a monumental achievement for any offensive lineman.
Section 5, the blueprint for tomorrow and the post-Rodgers era.
When we pull back and look at the macro picture, these individual threads, the quarterback jealousy, the offensive line battles, they all weave into a single cohesive shift in team identity. The old guard, guys like Mason Rudolph, Dylan Cook, and Spencer Anderson, are desperately trying to hold the line. They are fighting tooth and nail for their NFL survival, relying on their years of experience and grit to keep their spots. But McCarthy's new system is a relentless machine. It is not just preparing for this Sunday, it is actively, aggressively constructing the foundation for the post-Aaron Rodgers era. The franchise is deliberately accelerating the future, fast-tracking rookies like Drew Aller and Jennings Dunker, and applying intense, undeniable heat to the veterans who used to feel completely secure in their roles. It is the ruthless circle of life in the National Football League, playing out right before our eyes.
We are standing on the precipice of final roster cuts and the formulation of the definitive Week 1 depth chart. The tension in that facility is absolutely palpable. Jobs are on the line, whole careers are hanging in the balance right now. So the question is, will the seasoned, battle-tested veterans manage to dig in their heels, fix their mistakes, and hold their ground for one more season? Or will we look back at this exact preseason as the definitive moment the future arrived in Pittsburgh, leaving the old guard completely behind in the dust? The drama in Pittsburgh is far from over, and we will be tracking every single snap, cut, and depth chart move right here on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to NFL Nexus so you never miss an update. Like this explainer? Drop a comment below with your opinion. Who do you think actually wins these high-stakes positional battles? And if you want to take your support to the next level, consider becoming a channel member. Thank you so much for diving into the structural shifts of the NFL with us today, and we will see you next time.